Bro, what the fuck?
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. I just wanna touch the top. Baby said that she in love, but she don't love the lie. Been chillin' with all the bros, I've been above the spot. Shawty said that things change, well it does a lot. Hey, watching out the payment, man, the suds is high. Yeah, lost inside the heart, but it's emerging right. I've been out the way and I'm good. I can find my home. Everything I said it was is not. Yeah, Jamaica, how you layin'? Yeah, you ain't say nothing, what you saying, baby? I lost you, but who's paying? Don't know why you hit my phone, why you playing? Yeah, I can't handle it without the trusting. Yeah, I can see the top, I wanna touch it. Yeah, we been getting money, no discussion. Now I don't let the top of shorty always get the fussy. Yeah, hey, I like to cruise on it. Say she like the way I sound and how I groove on them. I been steady dodging bullets, how I move on them. But he talking out his neck and not a crew on them. Yeah, and I'm sliding. Shawty like the vibe, don't want the right to end. Yeah, to the nice end. Yeah, to the nice end. I can always keep the cool, I'm never fighting. Man, I love was all the cake without the icing. Now I found new love, different pricing. And it won't cost my soul, no devices. Yeah, I ain't got a plan for it, I'm the man for it. Say Brody couldn't stand for it, it's very important. I've been up the edge, I've been feeling the wind blowing. I can lose my head and my heart, but they been gone. I just hit the edge of stairs when it's dead time. I just lost promises, I regret mine. I just gained a lot of love on the west side. I'm the go, but I would never be the best guy. You might take me out of business like I'm Best Buy. Talk about the go to maybe doing, I know that's right. Yeah. Talk about the go to maybe doing, I know that's right. Thinking about the future, looking good, and it's the best side. I remember.
Well, welcome back, fellas. Welcome back, folks, to Ride the Tide Sports Podcast, brought to you by Six Pack Coverage. I'm here with Snoop, Luke, and McDilly on a fine day in Michigan. How you guys doing today, boys?
I'm not doing too bad. What about you, McDill?
You're lying. You should be saying exhausted because 5 hours ago on your Snap story, you said you were exhausted. Are you lying?
Yeah, it's true. You
Hey,
did say
maybe
that.
I am exhausted. Maybe
Are
I
you
did
exhausted?
spend the last 2 fucking
Rest up a
days
little bit.
at work in a crawl space where I could only crawl, and if I went any higher, if I
Why
went the
are you
wrong height,
tired
I
from
was destroying
crawling?
my... Bro, you spend 2 days I guess 2
You're like
proper
laying
days.
down the whole time.
No, you're on your hands and knees in tight, weird spaces that the levels change because the dirt is just dug down somewhere by the furnace and not at the rest of the places. Meanwhile, and it's not clean. There's a bunch of spider webs and a bunch of cobwebs and a bunch of spiders and a bunch of big rat holes that were dug.
I have a suggestion. You guys hire and train moles to dig the tunnels under the house for you so that you don't have to deal with all the level changes and stuff. They're just like, all right, go mole it out, and then the mole goes, moles it out, and then you just, crawl in there.
That'd be huge. But that's not a thing.
Well, maybe we got to start getting the moles to mole it out, all right?
And the only way
Someone
you
out
clear
there smart enough to figure that out. Mole it out.
You hope you find a stick underneath there to clear the cobwebs because you don't want to use anything that you got.
Or else you're fighting them.
You could literally make a torch out of how much webbing you wrap around the stick. It's insane.
Okay, that's disgusting. Let's talk sports, boys. Let's start with the MLB. The MLB has been off to a pretty wild start. A lot of young guys that starting to show up here, and it's really been quite exciting, especially in Detroit, with Torque Daddy going yard today for the first time. But we'll get into that. MLB update with McDilly. I'm going to finish it off with the Torque Daddy going yard because Torkelson went yard today. But we'll get to that. So, Dylan, go ahead. MLB update.
All right. So, here is what I got. Starting with
the most recent thing that happened today because it's just the freshest in my brain. And I want to talk about this off rip. So Clayton Kershaw and the Los Angeles Dodgers were in Minnesota today. And there are times when you have a no-hitter or a perfect game and you're in a scenario where you have to get pulled because of your pitch count. And we get it. It's happened 2 times for San Diego. The first 2 games of the year against Arizona. Relief pitcher came in, first hitter he faced, let up a hit. It happened back-to-back. Here's my thing with Clayton. He went 7 innings, and he had a perfect game going, only 80 on the pitch count, which means that he was probably going to go 8. But if he went 8, and I promise you,
Who are they
playing?
playing?
Exactly. He would have went 9. So the fact that you pull him.
Who are they playing?
They're playing
you didn't
Minnesota.
tell anybody who they were playing.
They're in Minnesota. I thought you said that he would have went 9.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're talking to an audience. You should probably tell them what the hell's going on.
I did. I started off by saying that in Minnesota today. You didn't hear me, but they did.
Oh, all right. Right.
Yes.
Sure. Okay, keep going.
So, I know it. I got an earpiece in. You can't see it. So he was pulled. He was pulled after 80 pitches through 7 innings, which is bullshit because you know that you could have went the whole way. It would have been the 24th perfect game in MLB history. Not saying he would have got it, but he was perfectly on track for it. 1 out goes by for the next relief pitcher, and then the hits happens. It honestly sucks that they only had 1 hit all game because I feel like the only thing worse than, losing a no-hitter is honestly a 1-hitter because it shows that you were 1 hitter, you were 1 out, you were 1 situation away from everything falling into place, and I think it's just absolutely bullshit from Dave Roberts, who Mr. Best Manager in Baseball, Mr. Big Talk.
Yeah.
Pretty dumb move, I'm not going to lie. I don't understand it.
Yeah, if I'm Clayton Kershaw, man,
a perfect game
I got some words for that because there was a tweet that I saw earlier that said how many like baseball games have been played like all time. And it was like 220,000, like some absurd number. And like Dylan said, there's only been 23 perfect games. Is that right? 24? 23? One of those numbers is right. Which number?
23.
23. Okay, that's what I thought. Could have been the 24th. That's why I had those 2 numbers in my head.
Yeah.
So, like I'm saying, man, 220,000 games, only ever 23 perfect games. You leave them in. And I'm pissed if I'm Clayton Kershaw and I get pulled from that because it's only ever happened 23 times.
Right. The odds of you being in that situation again are so slim.
Exactly. Especially when you're facing dog water like Minnesota. Luke, what do you think?
This pissed me off. I told you I'd be pissed, but then I was like, you know what? I'm actually just pissed right now because, when someone's about to get the perfect game, I don't give a fuck. You let them fucking get it. You let motherfuckers touch history. Like fucking assholes. Like hockey, yeah, like fucking Flyers. Let's sit our guy who's going for a fucking 1,000 games straight playing. Ooh.
Yeah, why are they on some bullshit recently? What's up with that? Too many records being broken? I don't know.
And it's not even like it's like a crucial part of the fucking year.
No, not at all. Dylan, what else you got?
I don't understand it, but that's the biggest topic. But anyways, other news that's happening is someone that I knew it wasn't going to take me long before I brought his name up on this podcast. That is Seiya Suzuki. He is the next big name in the MLB, next to Bobby Witt Jr. and I would say Torkelson. Those are probably the top 3 big names that are new in this year.
Riley Green, but he's injured. Don't sleep.
I know. I won't. When he comes back,
right,
you know
go
why
ahead.
this is good? Because when he comes back, everyone else will have already come, so all the attention will be on him.
I don't want to disrespect Suzuki. Let's go.
So Seiya Suzuki, he is an absolute machine. He was over in Japan. His hitting numbers were insane. His hitting numbers were actually very similar to Ohtani. This man is honestly a smaller Ohtani. The only thing he can do is pitch. Sorry. Now, not all the Japanese great players that come over here can pitch. All right? A lot of them hit. So Seiya is an absolutely amazing hitter, and he didn't take long for him to start breaking some records. So Seiya Suzuki, yesterday, he had a 2-homer game in Pittsburgh, and that is not the record that he broke. The record that he broke is that Seiya Suzuki is now the only MLB player with 8+ RBIs and 4+ walks in his first 4 career games since RBIs were an official stat in 1920. He also joined Ohtani as the only Japanese-born player to hit 3 homers in his first 4 MLB games. I think it's safe to say that with a Cubs team that doesn't have a whole lot of star power around it, this is a guy you want to build around. This is a guy that I think is going to be that guy for the next couple of years, the next big guy in baseball, in my opinion. And the fact that Chicago has him on a great deal, I mean, he's going to be one of those fun-to-watch players is what I think is also a big part, too. And then, Ty, you got anything to say on that? You're on mute.
So, yeah, I think Suzuki, man, I think he's going to be an absolute freaking monster in this league. And I honestly think that the Cubs need to build around him.
Right. Stupid.
They don't really have much of a choice. I mean, you shipped off most of your team last year, if not every good piece that you had. You didn't ship off every player on the roster, but everyone that contributed, pretty much, yeah, you got rid of them. So this is a great find for them. I'm glad that they have a guy that's making history because they have a lot of bad history in the past, 106 years and shit. So it's good to see the Cubs on the right side of history. So maybe it's time for the Lions to be on the right side of history too.
I mean,
but fuck that.
And then
that's what I got.
Yeah, and then the final thing that I have is baseball's back, which means that my player of the week is back. You know I love my player of the week. So the first player of the week starting in the new year is a man that I'm pretty sure everyone on this podcast knows and that is listening will know, and that's Big Nolan Arenado, the power slugger third baseman from the Cardinals. He's off to a hot start, batting .438. He's got 3 dingers, 1 RBI short of the double-digit 10 RBIs. We're sitting at 9. The OPS is at 1.65. There's a lot of other players that I could have put in here who have the best batting average that are geeked. There's the best power bats. Nolan is currently in the top running for batting or for RBIs. He's also in the top for home runs. We know that it's early, but it's something that, the Cardinals are defense. That's the number one thing you think of when they had not 1, not 2, not 3, but I believe 4 Gold Gloves last year out of the 9 possible spots. You think defense. So if they can get the offense going this year, especially starting with Nolan, who is their 3-hole hitter or their 4-hole hitter, with Tyler O'Neill. Him, Goldschmidt, and O'Neill, they get those powers numbers going, and there's offense in Cardinals, but that's going to be real dangerous. But shout out Nolan Arenado, first player of the week. And with that, that's all the baseball that I have for you today.
Except for Brett fucking Phillips. We cannot forget about Brett Phillips because this man is a legend. So, Brett Phillips, not only did he come into the game and pitch, which he has done before, and make a SportsCenter top 10 highlight because that's what Brett Phillips does. On a foul ball, actually, that was going towards the dugout, Brett Phillips makes a sliding catch and makes SportsCenter top 10. Fast forward to the very next game. Brett Phillips is catching the first pitch, who was thrown out by a little girl that's battling cancer, and had a very heartfelt moment. And Brett Phillips was a little girl's favorite player, and he caught the first pitch before the game, and yada yada. Game goes on. Then fast forward later in the game, they're doing an interview like they do with like families and stuff. Like they do an interview in the middle of the game. Well, Brett Phillips is batting with the little girl. Now, while they're doing the interview, Brett Phillips yokes a freaking tower of a home run, a moonshot into right field. Okay. And the little girl has no clue what's going on. She's like, oh my God, Brett Phillips just hit a home run. Like, no way.
Yeah.
And fast forward to after the game, they interviewed Brett Phillips because he's a freaking legend and he deserves to be interviewed after that. And here's what Brett Phillips had to say about the experience with her and everything that happened.
Usually, oh man, that's tough. I'm not at loss of words, but I had the chance to meet Chloe for the first time, and she's battling cancer, and she brought me these gifts. She wrote my name on a softball, and Chloe, you're an inspiration. Like, holy cow. I think that's the hardest ball I've hit in my career, and I'm praying for you guys, and just unbelievable what they're going through. And, you know, I hope I can meet Chloe again in the future. And what an inspiration, the energy she brought. And she did. She gave me a wristband. It says rally for Chloe, our princess. And again, what an inspiration. I'm praying for you, Chloe, and your family. You're really cool, and that homer was for you.
What a freaking legend. What a guy.
Absolute legend.
Shout out Brett Phillips. I hope you continue to do stuff like this all year that we get to see, because that was awesome. And you gotta love sports for moments like that.
Thanks.
And that is all we have for baseball.
Correct.
So with that, let's get into some NBA talk here, boys. So the NBA play-in has started. The Nets took on the Cavaliers last night and defeated the Cavaliers in actually a closer game than some might have expected, because, you know, some might think the Nets would blow them out of the water, but they didn't. But the Nets did defeat the Cavaliers and advanced, clinched the 7th seed. On the other side, the Timberwolves and Pat Beverly took on the Clippers, and they advanced, even though Karl Anthony Towns, I believe, only had 11 points, 4 points at halftime. Not a great showing, but Anthony Edwards went nuts, and the Timberwolves advanced in the play-in tournament. And I believe Dylan has something on the Pat Beverly post-game interview.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the game first, and then I'll get to Pat Bev. But I do want to talk about the Timberwolves game primarily because that was a game that the Clippers had the upper hand the entire game. Their all-star, like you just, I believe you mentioned earlier, Cat ain't doing shit. Bro was locked, and there was really not a whole lot that he could do when he wasn't shooting well. And he wasn't getting a lot of looks. Edwards and D. Russ were actually the main 2 factors. But then all of a sudden, and I kid you not, all it took was for Pat Bev to beat Pat Bev, start getting in people's heads, start chirping, got his tech. The second bro got his tech, then the game got chippy. Everyone was telling the refs they suck, and I'm going to be honest, they did. And then the real changing point was Karl Anthony Towns getting thrown out of the game when I believe there was 7-8 minutes left. The minute he got thrown out of that game, the next 3-4 minute run, it was an absolute all Timberwolves. That's when Russell was hitting threes. That's when Edwards was dunking. That's when Pat Bev was talking his shit and got Reggie Jackson to get a tech. And then after the game, oh boy, was Pat Beverly talking shit. So first off, the Timberwolves celebrated like they just won Game 7 of the NBA Finals. And, you know, got Pat Bev walking off the court crying and shit, and everyone's losing their mind celebrating. Good for Minnesota, but fucking act like you've won something before anything. But Patrick Beverly, after the game, is getting post-game interview, and he basically decides that this is his full opportunity to talk all the shit that he wants on his former team. Because keep in mind, left the Clippers, came to Minnesota, didn't have a good falling out with the Clippers, and he took every opportunity to just completely talk shit. So Patrick Beverly, after his post-game interview, they asked him what did he say to them, and he said that the Clippers need to take their weak ass home. It's a long flight back to LA, and that they suck. And then after the game, he went on Instagram Live to continue talking shit. And the main thing that went viral was him saying, weak ass Clippers, y'all ain't shit, motherfuckers, bitch ass motherfuckers, I think is exactly what he says. Weak ass Clippers, bitch ass motherfuckers. And taking every opportunity to talk all the shit. And they got the crowd and everyone at the end of the day chanting, we want Memphis. So now they get Memphis. And John Morant just tweeted out a laughing emoji on Twitter. So that's already, you know, a pretty big anticipated series when you got the 2 and the 7. But what are your guys' thoughts on that? It's a whole thing, man.
Well, my thoughts, you give the Wolves an inch. The pack's gonna start swarming, and I'll let you breathe. They're gonna eat you alive until you're dead.
Yeah, the problem is they want Memphis. They're getting a pack of bears.
I'm sorry. You don't want Memphis.
Usually wolves try to attack a bear.
But they're grizzly bears.
But this is 5 bears versus 5 wolves. It's very even. for the Bears.
They're not in a pack.
Fuck them up.
They're not in a
So
pack.
I think Pat Beverly.
Themselves.
I think Pat Beverly's going to end up eating his words the same way he did when he played on the Clippers. He just continues to play the villain role and then eat his words in the end almost every single time. And I think that he will be doing that again.
Things are different. He's got a wolf pack behind him.
The only reason you support this basketball team is because you've made an analogy about a wolf pack every time that you bring it up.
Yes, very much so.
I can't believe you. Dylan, talk about your shitty-ass fucking team you support.
Rephrase that, and I will.
Go Lakers. Oh, wait, I forgot you changed it.
Dylan, talk about the team that you traded in for new team.
No, just God damn it! You're supposed to say Dylan. Talk about the team that you only care about because LeBron's on.
Oh, Dylan, talk about the team that you only care about because LeBron James plays for it, even though he doesn't want to play there. He just wants to play with his kid.
The Lakers are apparently in head coach trouble because all it took was for a year.
And more than that.
What sucks is you're not wrong. They really are in more than that. But the main situation at front hand right now is that Frank Vogel is gone, yanked, fired. See ya.
Smell ya.
And that's that on Frank. But the main thing that I really want to bring up is we were talking about head coaching contenders. And the two names that are most notable to me is Nick Nurse, who is a NBA championship winning head coach with the Toronto Raptors, and Michigan basketball coach Juwan Howard. Those are the two names at the top of the list right now for a head coaching spot in LA. Luke, I want to ask you just off of how you feel about Juwan Howard. Him as a head coach of the Lakers with LeBron, eh? How would you feel about that? I'm curious.
Maybe he'll fire him up. Maybe he'll slap a coach or two, and they'll always be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, let's go, ride or die." And then they might spark something, and LeBron's like, "Hey, I'm gonna stay."
Ty, I mean, how do you feel about this? If it was Juwan.
I mean, I don't think that Juwan Howard is going to leave Michigan. He has two kids that both go to Michigan. One is a freshman and one is a junior. And you don't really get the opportunity to coach your kids at the collegiate level very often. And so I think that there's no fucking way that Juwan Howard's leaving Michigan. He's definitely going to coach his kids at the University of Michigan and try to win a national title with them and get them to the NBA. I think that's what his plan is. I don't think that he's going to go to the Lakers. I think that that's what his plan is.
Here's what you got to do. Ask LeBron who he wants.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
I mean, didn't LeBron ask for his current roster team for this season? And then look what happens.
Yeah, but have you ever seen a dad fucking turn down coaching both of his kids at the University of Michigan?
Yeah, but the Lakers is
there ain't no way. Yeah, he can do that in 2 years when the Lakers are still shitty.
In 2 years, or will they have already found that guy?
The Lakers will still be shitty in 2 years.
You don't know.
I do know. I just watched them put an all-star team together and win fucking barely 35 games. Wherever the fuck.
Yeah, but
first team's out, baby. Woohoo!
Yeah, I don't think they'll suck in 2 years. I don't think they'll be Super Bowl. I mean,
I think they'll still be, and they'll still be.
Wait, I have a question.
Average. Like, they're not going to be.
Will they get worse?
Hold up.
They can't get that much worse.
What's worse? The Canadians making it to the finals and then being the first team eliminated the following season, or the Lakers making an all-star team and being the first team eliminated that season?
Definitely the Lakers thing.
Definitely
the Canadians,
because they
were not ever supposed to do it. The Lakers were supposed to do it before the season even started. So definitely the Lakers' downfall is way worse than the Canadians' turnover.
No,
they're flip-flop.
Because there was no expectation.
What do you think?
There was no expectation.
I think
no hope with the Canadians.
Yeah,
There was all
exactly. And it was just like, wait,
and
what the
all
fuck,
hope
Canadians?
with the Lakers. Because with those expectations, you would tell yourself, oh, the Lakers are going to bounce back. Oh, they're just having a bad stretch. And then it would happen all fucking year until you
Too bad the stretch lasted from the beginning of the season to the end.
They're no longer in the playoffs. That was really when most Laker fans, to be honest, or not Laker fans, people kind of realized, shit, yeah, this team isn't making the playoffs. When they genuinely didn't make the playoffs. So
I can agree with that being the Lakers. I mean, they're both pretty fucking bad. I know the Canadians weren't supposed to, but still doing it and then being the first, that's just they're both fucking hilarious situations, I'm gonna be honest.
How do you keep muting yourself?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to, keep it quiet while the people are talking, And then I have to do everything else for the headlines and stuff. I forget that I muted myself in the beginning. So we got some football news to get into. Starting with JT Daniels transferring to West Virginia to play quarterback there after playing 2 years at the University of Georgia. Dylan, what the hell do you think about this? Why would he do this?
I mean, here's my thing.
He got his ring, I guess.
He got his ring. He's 7-0 in college as a quarterback. Yeah, let alone you have the offensive line and everything. But
and he wants to play, probably.
I am trying to wrap my head around it. West Virginia, there must be something I don't know with either their coach
other transfers or maybe
or there's something with
like
their
what Michigan
transfers
State
of
did?
who they're getting right now that it's like a behind the scenes type thing, exactly like Michigan State did last year. That is my best guess. But here's the one thing I want to say. I like it because I like when good quarterbacks go to bad schools. Because not only did they make that school talked about, but
talking about Shea Patterson. Are you disrespecting Shea Patterson like that?
I wasn't throwing any shade at anybody.
I mean, that's like, from Michigan to Central Michigan.
I that wasn't all. I was saying I like
from Michigan to Central Michigan to the USFL.
But how would that be shade if I said I like it?
Hey, first Panthers games this weekend, baby.
Now we got to talk about those. Anyways, keep going, Dylan.
But I like when I think he's going to West Virginia. I hope that West Virginia cooks something up with the receiving core that can help him out. And hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see WVU fucking in the top 10, top 15 next year.
Maybe top 25.
It's been a while.
You're kind of shooting a little high.
No, I'm shooting high because that's going to be the expectations now that you have JT. So
I don't know. JT's not insanely good.
He's not insane, but look at the QB class that's coming in next year. Is there anyone that not a whole lot besides CJ Stroud and
Bryce Young?
Exactly.
There's usually only 2, maybe 3, and one will probably emerge next year from somewhere. But when it comes to quarterbacks, Carr inks a $121.5 million extension, extending him through 2025 on the Raiders. What do we think? Does Derek Carr deserve this extension? Is he worth that much?
I think he's a below-average Matthew Stafford. He's really good at throwing the ball far, and he has his accuracy, and he has his days. But then he'll also have his days where he throws a lot of picks. And I think the only difference between him and Stafford is if Stafford spent the first 10, 12 years of his career on the fucking Raiders instead of the Lions, he would probably have already won a fucking playoff game, and it wouldn't have taken him as long as he did.
Now, can I tell you another difference between the two of them? Stafford's got a ring.
That's true. But, that's how I feel. So I don't think Derek Carr's a bad quarterback at all. I just think that I don't see him as I was going to say I don't see him as a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but now that's what everyone said about Am I how the rest of the world saw Stafford? Oh my God, I am. I'm how everybody else saw Stafford. I was about to say, I can't see him being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I could just see him being a numbers guy. That's literally what they said about Stafford.
Exposed, riding the public, exposed.
Oh my God. He's winning a Super Bowl next year. It's got it, right?
Well, just because he has Devontae Adams, he might just make the AFC Championship and then lose it. Or maybe that's just an Aaron Rodgers thing.
I am so sorry, Derek Carr.
Maybe it's a Devontae Adams thing. I don't know. We're gonna find out.
Imagine Rodgers actually goes to the bowl now that he lost all his fucking weapons.
And plays Devontae Adams.
I've never seen a higher chance of this man actually retiring.
However, rumors are surrounding Debo and the 49ers. Debo Samuel may or may not be looking for a trade partner.
Don't tell the Rams.
What? Where the hell do you see Debo Samuel going? Anybody?
Anywhere but the Rams.
If he was anywhere but San Francisco, where can you see Debo landing?
What about Dallas?
I could see Dallas.
They lost Cooper.
I could see Dallas. Plus, they need that quick guy off the ball.
And they got Zeke and Pollard, but having that third RB, Debo,
more trick plays too.
What about the Ravens? What about Baltimore? Put Debo with the Lamar.
Ooh, that's scary.
I like Baltimore.
That's more scary. Put him with Lamar. That's too much speed.
They still don't have that wide receiver one. Hollywood still isn't established like that.
Bro, that's too much speed. Think about how quick that offense would be.
Oh, what speed? Fuck it. Throw them on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Get the whole
they don't got the
speed.
money.
Dolphins are good.
I played this game. They don't got the money with that receiving core right now. They just went all in on Tyreek. I almost went to Cleveland too. I did the same thing with Deshaun. Baltimore got some money.
What about the Chiefs?
They could spend it. Fuck the Chiefs. Fuck the Rams.
The Chiefs are gonna draft a wide receiver. Watch it.
Unless they snipe Debo.
And don't go to the Bucks. Don't go to the Chiefs, Rams, or Bucks, please.
Yeah, for real.
And they lost Hill.
But when it comes to other possible switch ups, Baker Mayfield is expected to be finding a different team. Baker Mayfield was quoted saying, quote, "I feel disrespected 100% because I was told one thing and they completely did another." That's Baker Mayfield on the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson. Feeling completely betrayed. Where do we think that Baker Mayfield may end up with a lot of the starting jobs pretty much being filled? Where does he fit?
Now, going back to that, what you just brought up, that interview, watching it, he said that the main place he would go is Seattle, and then Seattle. He really wants to go to Seattle. I think Pete Carroll, if he does hear that, I think that he would probably go in on Baker than Drew Lock. So my number one off rips is Seattle, but I'll let Luke go before I think Corey.
He basically just described his own goddamn gameplay because he gets everybody thinking he's going to do one thing, and he's good or he's bad. And then he does the complete fucking opposite, and either shits the bed or has a great-ass game.
Here's what I think, though. Where does he want to go? Seattle. Where can I realistically see him starting next year? Probably fucking Denver. Maybe Houston. Nowhere special. I'm being so genuine with you. I don't think he's going to go.
Did you just say Denver? They didn't
Denver
get Russell Wilson?
What?
Oh, my God.
Fuck?
I'm like,
that totally
nowhere
wasn't in my
special.
brain when I said that. Totally wasn't in my brain.
You had me for a second there, Dylan.
Clip it, post it.
Clap it.
Clip it. Clip it.
Clap it.
Yeah, I forgot that Russell wasn't. Russell was on my team.
It happens. But you're not the only one in a controversy because Cam Newton has found himself in a controversy over women. You guys are not going to believe this quote from Cam Newton here. But the man that dresses like a woman has been quoted saying, this is Cam Newton on women. Quote, "I think a lot of times when you get that aesthetic of, quote, I'm a boss bitch, I'm a this, I'm a that, no baby, but you can't cook. You don't know when to be quiet. You don't know how to allow a man to lead." This was quoted of him saying it on a podcast recently, and he has found himself in some hot water since then.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. We've just saw the downfall of Cam Newton ever since he said, "I'm back." I hate to be the one to say it.
What did I tell you? I said it. I said it the fucking day after he fucking screamed in the camera.
You were never on the bus to
I'm not
begin
gonna
with.
lie, Loke. You did call it, and
But
you were
bus.
against him from the get
He
go.
didn't jump off the Cam Newton bandwagon. And was like, he didn't jump off the Cam Newton bus and was like, "Nah, I don't like this. Ain't gonna go well." He never liked him. He never was on.
Yeah, he never really fucked with him.
I told him about his downfall when he came back.
You know what?
He's like, there's gonna be no comeback.
You know what the problem is? You weren't into football like you are now. When he was on top of the game.
When he went to the Super Bowl, yes, an MVP.
Because he was a legendary status. He was nuts.
It's a different Cam.
Superman Cam. But I think that would change your outlook if you were more into football at that time.
That's true.
Probably.
But Cam,
like
God damn it,
right.
Be nice to the women. They do a lot for us. All right.
Yeah, that's a wild
take.
Who the fuck hurt you?
They do a lot of good stuff.
I thought, when I first heard it, I thought he was starting off hot. Just these women who think they're a boss-ass bitch, but then they're just acting a little wild. I thought he was going to go a different route, and then he just went fucking south.
Shit on him.
It was personal.
I was like, well, okay.
Something happened. Nope. Yeah, that was personal.
It was a personal tweet.
Throw the @ sign next time, buddy. Fucking come on, Cam.
Make those tweets private.
Be better. We do got some NHL to talk about, though. An announcement has been made for next year. Two of my least favorite hockey teams will be playing in the Winter Classic on January 2nd, 2023 at Fenway Park. Pittsburgh Penguins and the Boston Bruins. So they can both fuck off.
I'm so mad.
Also,
that's a good matchup.
Evgeny Malkin has been suspended for 4 games for his cross-check to the face of the Nashville Predators defenseman. I think we all knew it was coming, and it came. So he has been suspended for 4 games for his cross-check.
Was anyone surprised that he did that? He's been a hothead his whole career.
Oh, no, I'm not surprised at all.
You touch him a little too hard, and you're probably getting two-handed slashed in the leg, stick, or cross-checked in the fucking net.
He has to even out because Crosby's a bitch. You have to have the dude who's oversensitive, and then
I wouldn't say he's oversensitive.
He's
one of those guys.
I'd say he used to be oversensitive.
He's one of those guys. He's like Lucic. You poke the bear. You poke the bear, and you just don't poke the bear.
He's describing
with certain people.
Crosby?
No, Malkin.
Crosby's not like that. We're talking about Crosby, not Malkin.
No, he's just describing Crosby.
Yeah.
I know, but we were still talking about both of them.
Yes, I know.
I know, but I said something, and then you cut me off because you thought I was talking about Malkin, but I was talking.
No, I did. No, I did not at one point.
It just happened.
The over emotional.
I just watched it happen.
You were referring to Crosby as over emotional.
No, I was referring to Crosby as fucking being a crybaby.
So yes.
And then he goes, "It's so."
What?
And then Luke goes.
Oh my god! I thought we were
You're
about
breaking
to get
me, bro. Fuck the
I
Penguins.
thought we were about to get an answer.
UFC.
I'm talking in guap, now I'm speaking in fluent. When I hit the road, I won't leave till I do it. Acting out of hand, I'm like, be what you doing. We started off good, can't believe that we ruined it, yeah. I tried to fix with a sewing kid, yeah. I tried to fix it, you know I did, yeah. I tried to fix it, you know I did, yeah.
We ain't on UFC yet. Cut the music, cut the shit.
Bro, we are on UFC.
Yes, we are. What else do we have to say about Evgeny Malkin and not shit? You got anything else to say about Evgeny Malkin? Is that why you're upset? You want to talk about Malkin? Still? No.
Come on now, let's move on, motherfucker.
Hey, you said you didn't want to. Just trying to figure you out. You're really hard to read right now. What do we got, Luke?
All right. Well, let's start out with some UFC news. Because Nick Diaz, he's coming back?
What?
Yeah.
What?
Expect by the end of the year a Nick Diaz fight.
Why?
I'd be the first to say that I hate it.
I hate it, but I love it.
I hate it, but I hate it because I want to love it, but that makes me hate it because as much as I love Nick Diaz,
that needs an explanation.
The last Nick Diaz that I saw, I don't want to see get into another UFC octagon. I'm sorry. I know you honestly agree with me on this, Luke.
Yes and no.
That's a fighter that isn't in a condition to fight. He wasn't, and he looked like he didn't want to be there. He wasn't in shape. It wasn't the Nick Diaz we know and love.
I mean, no shit. How many years did he not fight for? He was never gonna be the same Nick Diaz.
But why do you want to see the guy we saw live?
Because it's Nick fucking Diaz. Because he's a fucking beaut, and he does crazy shit when he fights, regardless of how fucking shitty in shape he is. And he's a tough son of a bitch.
Last time,
he's
I'll watch
a Diaz.
Throw in slow motion for a round, and then he'll get knocked out. But it should be cool for hype.
Hey, they're like. I'd love to see a Diaz get knocked out.
I want him to train. I want him to look like he wants to fucking kill somebody again. Not physically, mentally.
If there was one guy, if there was two guys I'd put money on not getting their lights absolutely lights out, it's those two guys.
Yeah, because the thing is he got knocked out last time. He didn't get knocked out. He got ended by KO. But
well, he kind of like verbally quit.
Right.
Because he's like, okay, I'm getting overwhelmed. Yeah, this is over. I don't got much more left in the tank. And it was his first fight back. So, I mean, he was just trying to see what he could do. And now maybe he's a little bit more in shape, feeling himself a little bit more.
That's what I want to see. That I want to see how Nick's doing. I want to see how he's in shape, like all that mentally. Because the last fight, I mean, that's not Nick, bro. It's not the Nick that we love.
He probably rewatched the fight, was like, fuck, that's embarrassing.
He was probably pissed off, to be honest, I would assume.
Well, anyways, moving on to another fight announced. Zhang Weili and Joanna, I'm going to be honest, I've known her for a while, and still have a tough time saying her last name.
I know exactly what you're saying. Arroz, RZ, fucking God.
Yeah, we're just going to go with Joanna. A lot of people know her as Joanna anyways. And, okay. But that's going to be an exciting fight.
Well, you know
at
what?
UFC 275.
Man, the last time they fought, that was one of the best women's fight I've ever seen in UFC ever.
Wasn't that when Joanna's fucking head blew up like a balloon?
Yes.
That was funny.
That was a great fight.
I've never seen a human skull do that.
So if they can run that bitch back the same way, and I can see some more of that shit, I'm really excited for it.
Jimmy Zhang Weili, the KO.
Oh yeah. That's happened.
But now we got a little bit of recaps from UFC.
Oh baby.
Pay-per-view, baby.
Kind of a pooper.
All right, boys. Let's get right into it. Starting with the first fight, Darian Weeks and Ian Gary. Ian Gary defeats Darian Weeks by unanimous decision. This was a pretty good fight. I know that Luke was supporting Ian Gary, so
I don't know why I don't remember this fight. I don't remember this fight happening on the main card.
The Irish blood prevails.
It was the first fight that we talked about. I do remember talking about it. And then the next fight we got up here, Mark Madsen defeated Bink Pichel via unanimous decision. Again, not getting a finish. Not as many finishes as I would have wanted on this card, but this is exactly what we expected. So it is what it is. Nice. Mackenzie Dern was the next fight, and she defeated Takaya Torres by split decision.
The Dern.
That was a really good fight as well. Possibly a robbery. And the next fight, we had Khamzat Chimaev defeated Gilbert Burns via unanimous decision in definitely the best fight of the night.
Fight of the year so far, in my opinion, but that's just me.
No, that's just you after every card. But
hey, every card I see a better fight.
But I think that was the best fight that we've seen from Chimaev, and Chimaev jumped in the rankings to the third spot after that fight, after he showed that he could take a hit. That was really the last piece that they needed to see from him was, can this guy even take hits? We don't know. He doesn't get hit. And Gilbert Burns said, "Yeah, you're gonna get hit," and he hit him for what? I think it was 126 different
119
strikes.
times.
119, yeah,
Strikes.
yeah, 119 strikes. So he definitely got tapped that fight. But Chimaev did come out on top and jump to the 3 spot. What do you guys think about that fight?
Fucking absolutely huge for Kazmat. This is exactly what he fucking needed. A big fight with a top high-level fucking fighter. Rank 2, Burns, and he's not just a pushover guy you can just step on to get your way up. I told you that plus 400 was mad disrespect. Like, that was whack as fuck. I don't give a fuck who's fighting him. Unless it's maybe Khabib. But even that would still be whack. But it's with this fight, it proved and it showed that he can go the distance and keep it up and make changes in his game plan and face adversity and still prevail. That's huge, and this is going to be the man to dethrone the fucking king.
Yeah, I that's all I was gonna say. I have to say it after every one of their fights, because we said at the beginning of the year, and me and Luke are gonna continue to say it until we see it happening before the year is over. And that's Chimaev and Islam are coming for the titles, and they will both be champions before the year is over. I will always continue to recap that until it happens. So that's what I gotta say on that.
All right, in the next fight we had Aljamain Sterling defeats Peter Yan via a split decision. Now,
my fucking chair.
Before either one of you start ranting, because I know that there's a rant that I will exit.
Robbery!
All I
Biggest
need to
robbery
say
I've ever
is
seen.
I said exactly what was going to happen, that there'd be some bullshit, and there was some bullshit, and you would be mad, and my parlay would hit, which it did. And I would be okay. So, without further ado, some bullshit.
Highway robbery,
and we're going to tell you why. Because here is how the fight went. There was 5 rounds to this fight between Yan and Sterling. Round number 1, Peter Yan won that fight. Rounds number 2 and round number 3, Aljamain Sterling.
You won that round, not that fight.
Yeah, won that round. Round 2 and round 3, Aljamain Sterling played one simple trick. He played the full body triangle and tried to get the back guillotine in for, I believe, 7 or 8 minutes on the ground.
That's because Yan was fighting out of pure anger, and it worked the first round. But then once Sterling was fighting with his brains and got Yan to expose his back, it was easy pickings just to drop him on the ground, wrap him up, because that's what he fucking does best.
So after round 3,
naked choke,
you'd make every argument that it'd be Sterling. Then rounds 4 and 5 hit. And this is when round 4 primarily, this was Peter Yan's round. This is when his pieces were coming out. He wasn't letting any takedowns get to him. He didn't actually, that round, I don't think he was on the ground once. And if he was, he got right back up. And that was his best round hitting-wise, significant strike-wise. And then round 5 came, and he won round 5 too. So me and Luke are sitting here looking at each other, 3-2 Yan. We're breaking it down every 29-28 scenario. It's going to Yan 3-2 because he's won 3 rounds. Sterling's won 2. It strikes. However you
we didn't even think it was even going to be close to the point where the judges are going to be like, oh, we're going to even have a chance to really fuck it up.
Right.
Because it was pretty fucking obvious. Because it's come into question, what do you score round 1 then? Because that's what's coming into question is what was your score for round 1? Because some people are giving it to fucking Sterling, and I don't see how.
How the fuck are they doing that?
I have no fucking clue how.
Sterling didn't win round 1. Sterling won round 2 and 3 clear as day. So then we go to the results, right? We got 1 for Yan, we got 1 for Sterling. We're hitting that final 1. And the second this motherfucking Aljamain Sterling is announced as the winner, I don't think there's ever been not even a silence of anger, just straight up, just anger, bro. Just pissed, just frustration, because it's like, how are you not watching what everyone else is seeing? And then you have Dana White, the owner of the UFC, saying
Dana White on quote.
Yan.
Quote, I thought the judges blew that one. I had a 3-2 the other way.
Fucking hell. It's god awful, man, and it's bad and it sucks. And the thing is we're probably going to see Sterling versus TJ Dillashaw, and now I hope that TJ Dillashaw knocks him the fuck out.
moving on to the next fight, which is the main event of the evening. Volkanovski absolutely mauled the Korean Zombie to the point where it was just a standing KO or a standing TKO. The ref just stopped it.
God.
And
he broke Zombie,
that was that. It wasn't I told you the Zombie is a zombie for a reason. Don't get knocked out. But I mean, at the end of the day, he was just a walking punchy bag at that point.
I do want to say one thing.
But he almost died.
Really big shout out to Herb. That was a great stopping.
Yeah.
I want to point
Herb's
that out
notorious for fucking that up too.
There are times where just UFC officials where why aren't you stopping this now? I do really want to give a big prop to Herb because the second that he was standing up and it wasn't even because Herb's the guy that and this is how all officials should be is you don't stop the fight when he's knocked out. You stop him when he cannot physically continue to defend himself, and that's how it was even when he was standing up. So I do want to point that out real quick. But Volk absolutely murdered him. He broke him. And the sad part is that the Korean Zombie kind of let us all know that he wasn't sure if he was ever going to fight again. But then the nail in the coffin for me was the second the interview kind of continued when he collapsed to the ground and he put his hands and his head on the mat and, he was visibly really emotional about it. I think that
sure he does that.
You can, at least I got from it.
Then he was crying.
The chances of him being in an octagon again, at least in the UFC, are very slim, and at least not for a while. That's just what I think. Luke?
I mean, yeah.
Like, do you think we'll see him again or soon?
Probably not. I don't know. Most likely not. Dana's probably not going to want to schedule him to fight again.
That's true. I agree with you.
We got some UFC fight night coming up. Is that the deal?
Yes, we do.
And
we got, for the first fight, we got Miguel Bieza against Andre Fialho, which, honestly, any day and age, Michael Bieza, just fucking his calf kicks are just the most dangerous in the entire UFC. They're fucking whips.
I only know Bieza.
Unless you're Bryce Mitchell, and who can just eat that shit and move on. Not everyone's Bryce Mitchell, so you're gonna have to give me Bieza with the leg kicks.
I only know Bieza, so I agree.
They're basically fucking whips on his legs, like concrete fucking bricks. Fucking, I don't even know. They're fast as fuck.
When this guy breaks his leg, just remember Luke said this.
This is true. You just said this.
Yeah, but you don't know Bieza and his leg kicks.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that he would, but at the same time, I feel like that's probably what everyone said about Anderson Silva. So, anyways, we'll continue.
Next up, we have a 10-1 Xiao Bralo going up against Gadzi Amorgadzad. Okay, that's
I didn't know how to pronounce it either. Don't even try.
Who's third? A Butte this Saturday night. And at the end of the day, so I'm going to have to take the guy I can't say the last name. Gadzi. I'm taking him. I'm going to take the wrestler. He's just a little strong wrestler. The other guy might be a little bit stronger, but he's more technical.
Yeah, I'll take Gadzi too. I don't know enough to be being ballsy.
Then we got Vincente Luque.
Oh, Vincent Luque.
Luque.
Is it Luque or Luque? I know it's French.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, against Bilal Muhammad. And, this is going to be a good fight. But at the end of the day, Bilal Muhammad is going to drag Mans to the mat.
That's what I think.
And take him to most likely decision with a W.
You take decision. I'm gonna take submission. I'm gonna take a submission win. That's from Muhammad.
All right.
That's what I think.
And those are the three fights we're covering for the UFC. Actually, no, wait, hold up, because there's one special fight I want to mention. because he had a nasty KO. And hold up. Jesus.
Come on, Luke.
I'm ready, but it's not there apparently. Chris Barnett.
Ah, there we go.
The motherfucker, the big motherfucker, big body guy who decides to do a spinning heel kick.
Yes.
For a KO. Dub.
Chris
And then
Barnett
do a
is-
flip and land on his fucking ass.
Barnett's great, man. I think that he's a fighter that, I mean, he's had one fight, and that was what we saw. So he's one of those guys that everyone wants to see what he's going to do in his next fight. That's how I am.
He's facing Martin Boudet, and he's 9-1, and he is no joke. He's no laughing matter. Chris Barnett is definitely the underdog in this one, but because what he did last fight, I just fucking love it. I love
You
that.
gotta
energy of
ride
this
Barnett.
guy. Give me Barnett.
You gotta
Another
ride
spinning
Barnett.
heel kick KO. Fuck it.
You'd be a fool not to, or you're just no fucking fun. Either one of the two.
And that's all we got for the UFC.
All right, boys. So let's get right into it. We got some picks, but we're going to start off with something a little bit special because this weekend is the kickoff of the USFL. So I want to talk about these games real quick. The inaugural season kicks off Saturday, April 16th, with the New Jersey Generals facing the Birmingham Stallions at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The game will be simultaneously casted nationally on Fox, NBC, and on Peacock. So definitely gonna have to tune in. But who do we have without any knowledge at all? New Jersey Generals or Birmingham Stallions, boys? I'm going Generals.
Birmingham.
Dylan? Are you a general or are you a stallion in this one? Just pick. Fuck. You don't know shit. Pick.
Stallion.
You ain't
see the
shit.
logos, but I
You
couldn't.
ain't
Is it Birmingham
shit.
Stallions or Birmingham Generals?
It's the Birmingham Stallions and the New Jersey Generals.
That's what I thought.
Let's go, Luke.
Even though every team is in the same place. Anyways, the USFL will then have a triple header on Sunday, April 17th, starting with the Houston Gamblers taking on the league favorite Michigan Panthers at noon. Then the Philadelphia Stars play the New Orleans Breakers at 4, and the Tampa Bay Bandits play the Pittsburgh Maulers at 8 p.m. So let's start with the first game. Houston Gamblers taking on the Michigan Panthers. Look, man, our guy Chase Demore guaranteed a ship. I think we could go undefeated, possibly. I have no idea. I'm taking us to win game 1. Ain't no way we lose.
Hey, man.
Say Pat, baby.
I'm definitely taking the Michigan Panthers, showing that support, especially because of Chase. But, you know, it makes it hard to go against when you got a sick name like the Gamblers. Fuck.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah,
Two Big Ten quarterbacks going at too with Shea Patterson, and then I believe the Gamblers quarterback is formerly from Northwestern. So definitely two different schools, but
still give me the Panthers by a million.
Hell yeah. Dylan, Panthers?
Yeah, I got the Panthers.
For sure. Next game at 4 p.m., the Philadelphia Stars will be playing the New Orleans Breakers. Now, I'm going to personally take the New Orleans Breakers because all things that attach the name Philadelphia to the front of them are just not meant to win anything. So I'm going with the New Orleans Breakers.
I mean, they have the color scheme that I go for in teams, so I don't understand why I wouldn't go for them. I'm looking at the logo right now, and this is my shit. This dark blue, this light blue. Fuck yeah, I'll take New Orleans.
Listen, the new league, relatively same sport, same city.
It is football. Still.
Fade, Philly. Well, I'm saying relatively same sport because they have fucking hockey team and fucking basketball team.
He's referring to Philadelphia as a whole.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then 8 o'clock, we got the Tampa Bay Bandits taking on the Pittsburgh Maulers.
Tampa Bay!
Yeah, now I got to go Pittsburgh.
I gotta take the Bandits.
Damn, I was just about to say
the Bandits is a cool ass name, so I'm gonna take Tampa Bay too. But we'll definitely talk to you guys about this weekend's games when they do happen on Monday's podcast. We still have podcast Saturday for UFC and all that good stuff that happens the rest of the week. But I did want to talk about the USFL because we are getting ready to talk about football in the spring again. And it's not the XFL, it's the USFL. So we'll get into that soon. But coming up next, we got Downtown Cash picks and then Puck Luck picks.
No, we don't.
Wait, we don't have Downtown Cash picks.
We have no picks.
We just have Puck Luck picks.
PLPs, baby.
I was wrong. PLPs only today. PLPs. All right, let's get after it.
Yeah. Oh, get to the guap, it's a must. Speak on the top of my brothers' is blood. None of these niggas get trust. You cannot question, you know what it was. What was you doing for us? These niggas mad cause I'm putting in work. Like I speak fluent in Russian. Did you catch that?
All right, fellas. Let's get into it here. Downtown Cash picks, or I can't stop saying it. Puck Luck picks. Here we go. Game 1. Luke, what do we got on the schedule?
Game number 1. We have the Edmonton Oilers going to Nashville to take on the Preds Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Have the Oilers clinched a playoff spot yet?
No, only the Avs have clinched a playoff spot.
Okay, I didn't know anything
Conference
like
Finals.
that. Thank you.
They're the only team to. No
Not
one
in the
has
finals.
in that conference.
Appreciate you. I'm taking the Oilers. I didn't know how early I was yet.
All right,
They're still in a playoff spot, but
I am also going to take the Oilers in this game. I love Nashville, but I'm going to have to take the Oilers for this one.
yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to be riding with the boys on this one and be taking the Oilers because, yes, they're in second, but they're still not clinched, and it's still regular season, so they still have time to shine, and they've been shining as of late.
Sweet! All right, game number 2. What do we got up?
All right, game number 2. We have the Vegas Golden Knights going to Calgary to take on the Flames at 9 p.m. Eastern. I accidentally typed 8, but they're next to each other. I thought that looked weird, so I just checked it, and I was like, oh, shit.
Corrected.
All right. This is actually really tough for me. I'm going to take Calgary. I'm going to take
okay. Well, I love watching Calgary fall. I'm going to take the Golden Knights to win this one, mostly because Calgary will probably be the favorite, and they like to lose those games. So.
Yeah. Every time I see their money line at minus 400 or more or higher, I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from this game, most likely. But it is against the Knights, and the Knights have been kind of crumbling this year, but they still got to make a massive playoff push. Well, not that massive, but they got to get going strong. No, they're
are they in right now?
They're not in right now.
Okay.
They're down by 3 points.
Whoa. Okay.
So
could
they
make
need
a push
to start
for sure.
winning if they want to make it in.
Yes.
And I think they will. Give me the Knights.
Knights it is. Game number 3. What do we got, Luke?
Game number 3. We have the New York Islanders going to Montreal to take on the Canadiens Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Give me Montreal. Feeling funky.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna take the Islanders. I gotta do it. I just gotta go I got to go on the other side of the road, man.
You know, the Islanders have won both times against the Canadiens. Actually, no, they're 1-1 in the series. I just remember that. Oopsies. But who's going to take home that last game of the season? It is going to be the New York Islanders!
I did all of that because I thought you were going to fucking say Montreal. God damn it, I've been bamboozled.
Hey, listen, I trusted the Montreal Canadiens last time.
I thought you start with one team and then you give your butt and then you change it.
I mix it up so I'm not predictable like you, motherfucker.
Fuck, I thought I had the pattern down and then he fucked me.
Keep changing up your moves. Don't let them see your next play. Coming.
Why was the coming separated? Why was there a ... coming?
Look, if you haven't figured it out, Luke's been talking in fragmented sentences this podcast. There's slight pauses in between stuff, okay? You just got to learn to live with it.
I'm exhausted. Long 2 days of work.
Don't you remember he's exhausted?
Yeah, I know. He's exhausted.
Didn't you see his Snapchat story, Dylan? Keep up.
I saw his
Every
face.
couple words, exhausted. I got to take a deep breath.
Keep up, Dylan.
He looked exhausted.
All right, but that's all we got for you guys today on Ride the Tide Sports Podcast. So with that being said, make sure you guys check out sixpackcoverage.com. Check out Ride the Tide Sports Podcast on their YouTube channel, Six Pack Coverage on YouTube, or check it out on our page at Ride the Tide 586 on Twitter and on Instagram, or on YouTube, Ride the Tide Sports Podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Until then, enjoy this clip of Spencer Torkelson going yard for the first time in his Major League Baseball career. Torque Daddy, bitch!
To plate. The 1-0, swinging a fly ball, left field. Watch it fly! Gone! Spencer Torkelson with a bomb to left. Home run number 1.